The terror-specific world is afraid of Trump, and Israel knows it, and Israel will get what it needs, with the focus being on the complete dismantling of Hamas's military infrastructure, Hezbollah, and Iran is coming next, and Iran knows that the clock is ticking. So they can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, the minute Trump takes that office, it's game on.
Welcome back to Stakelbeck Tonight. The Iranian regime is once again threatening Donald Trump. The Telegram channel for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps vowed today to, quote, finish the job and take out the 47th president. So what will a second Trump term mean for Iran's regime and Israel? Aaron Cohen is a former Israeli Special Forces operative and host of the Aaron Cohen Show podcast, which you can see on X and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. It's great. Aaron joins us now to break it all down. Great to see you as always, my friend. And hey, the Iranian regime, it seems, Aaron, has a healthy fear of Donald Trump. Why would that be?
Trump used Israeli very actionable intelligence back in 2020 and assassinated Qasem Soleimani, who was a key figure in the IRGC's terror regime. Trump's no stranger to, here's where I'm at with Trump, Eric. Trump doesn't speak a word of Hebrew. He doesn't speak a word of Arabic, but he speaks the language of the Middle East. And in Hebrew, we say, which means you got to understand the language of the Middle East. And Trump's overall disposition in understanding the terror regime, that is Iran. That's been going on since 1979, since the regime took control of Iran, since those hostages were taken back in the 70s. Trump understands the signaling. And so Trump, as far as Iran goes, Trump is he's not listening to a word of Iran, same way Israel doesn't listen to a word of Iran. And I think you're going to see Trump significantly start to get behind Israel's preemptive strikes. And you're going to see Trump start to really open the can on Iran, and they're going to be partnering with Israel very, very closely over this next year to begin to really put pressure on that regime to dismantle their capabilities.
Yeah, which brings me to Israel, Aaron, which you mentioned. You've been critical, and rightly so, of the Biden-Harris administration and the way they have restrained Israel constantly over the past year. As you said, do you think Donald Trump's going to kind of open the floodgates, give Israel the green light, and say, hey, do what you need to do, including when it comes to Iran's nuclear sites?
That's exactly right, Eric. And so with regards to the IDF, with regards to Israel, in regards to Hamas and in Gaza and in Lebanon, you got to remember, these are all extensions of Iran. So all this connects to the larger head of the snake. But Donald Trump will make sure that the weapons supply is very enriched to Israel. Trump understands a very basic tactical core concept here, which is that Biden and Harris restraining Israel cost lives. It prolonged the war. It kept hostages from being rescued. Boots on the ground saves lives. And now the IDF forces, their various elite infantry units, some of their special operations assets, they're now having to go head-to-head in close quarters combat to continue to root out all of that work they couldn't do because they were pulled back. Remember, Biden and Harris kept Israel from going into Rafah. The IDF just killed Yehia Sinwar in Rafah. The hostages that were murdered, Hirsch, Goldberg, and the other 4 that they found dead, killed at gunpoint, those hostages were found in a tunnel in Rafah. The hostage rescue that went on of Noah Argami a couple of months ago by our Yamam, one of the top counter-terror units in the world, the Yechida Miyuchedet Mishtartit. That unit rescued Noah Argami and those hostages in Rafah. And so Bibi has been playing forward operations, practically ignoring the United States, who's been threatening to disarm Israel or stop the flow of weapons. And with Trump now on board, Hamas has just put out a statement saying that they want a ceasefire. So Trump's overall, disposition signals strength, and that's how we're going to get peace. That's how we're going to move into quiet and the subduction of these all these fires that are happening throughout the Middle East. The terror-specific world is afraid of Trump, and Israel knows it, and Israel will get what it needs, and they will continue with targeted assassinations, urban operations, creative operations, with the focus being on the complete dismantling of Hamas's military infrastructure, Hezbollah, and Iran is coming next. And Iran knows that the clock is ticking. So they can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, the minute Trump takes that office, it's game on.
You know, we talk about Iran being the head of the snake when it comes to Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, etc. But that Iranian ring of fire has suffered some heavy blows over the past month and a half in particular. First of all, what is the state of Hezbollah right now in Lebanon? They seem to have been severely weakened thanks to some very daring and innovative Israeli operations.
Well, Hezbollah's definitely taken a couple of hits, Eric. Israel's been very creative and very aggressive, conducting forward operations, everything from the assassination of the head of Hezbollah down to the recent abduction or capture of Imad Ahmaz, who was a high-level Hezbollah intelligence operative attached to overseeing their naval or waterborne cell, which is very dangerous for Israel. Israel's Shayat at Shalosh Esrei, their Navy SEALs, if you will, just penetrated about 85 miles into northern Lebanon, grabbed this guy, brought him back into Israel undetected, scurried him off to those boats after infiltrating over the beach. These are very bold and loud operations that have a tremendous effect psychologically. Mohammed Daif, we take it to Iran as well. Ismail Haniyeh assassinated as a guest in Iran to the Ayatollah Khomeini. And so Israel's Mossad, the IDF, the Shin Bet, and the Israeli Special Operations community as a whole. And I just got off the phone with a lieutenant colonel from the Shayat Shalosh Esrei, a buddy of mine for 30 years. It's very busy right now. Every unit's activated. Every unit's got a reserve cell that's been recalled back in. Even my unit, the Mistaravim, the undercover unit, busy like crazy. And the reason why is because Israel understands that they're on the clock right now. There was another October 7 massacre style attack being planned in the north. Operation Attack the Galilee. I can't remember what it was called. There's dozens and dozens of even larger, more intricate tunnel networks in southern Lebanon that Hezbollah's been building out since Israel withdrew from southern Lebanon back in the late 90s. So there's been 20 years of building this infrastructure, but with Hassan Nasrallah now dead, and with Ismail Haniyeh and all of these leaders that Israel's been eliminating systematically, what it's doing is it's buying Israel time, slowing down that head of the snake, as you referred to, which is absolutely correct. And it's giving Israel more time to be able to plan more continuing operations. And in relation to Trump understands that Israel understands how to fight terrorism. Remember, Bibi comes from Seret Matkal, our General Staff Reconnaissance Unit. His brother is a legend who was killed at Entebbe, rescuing over 100 hostages back in the 70s. So Bibi really understands that counterterrorism ethos, and he understands that maximum pressure. And Trump understands that maximum pressure. Him and Bibi have been friends for years, and Biden and Harris didn't allow Israel to be able to conduct with that impunity those missions, to really go all out. And there's been restraint. And now I think you're going to see a paradigm shift. And just the idea of Trump getting into office now is going to start to escalate that fear amongst the Arab world. Eric, the only language the Arab countries understand is fear. And if you want peace in the region and you want these wars to simmer, it has to be done through signaling via strength. And that's what Donald Trump is about to bring to this region.
Yeah, Aaron, speaking of which, we've got about a minute left, but I wanted to ask you about the hostages in Gaza. Is there a chance we could see a scenario like we saw in January 1981? President Reagan comes into office, Iran releases 52 American hostages. Could we see Hamas perhaps release those 5 U.S. hostages when Donald Trump gets into office?
I do think that's a very real possibility. And the reason why is because Hamas understands that President Trump is going to allow Israel to have maximum pressure here. If there's intel, Israel will go after those hostages. It's always been a priority for Bibi. And now that he's got a new defense minister in place who also has a ton of experience, you might see some more magic being pulled off here, Eric.
Amen. We will pray for sure. Aaron Cohen, great work as always, my friend. Host of The Aaron Cohen Show. Great podcast, folks. YouTube, X, check it out. Follow Aaron, subscribe across social media. Stakelbeck Tonight, my all-new nightly series on current events through a bold biblical lens. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching, and God bless.